Hello everyone, this is Shubhadeep. Welcome you to the WBCS exam online coaching. Today we are going to start a new topic, that is the ecology and ecosystem. So before we should start this topic, first we have to know that what is ecology. Ecology is a branch of biology that deals with the study of the relationship between living beings and its surrounding environment. Right? So how many branches are there for a ecology? It could be the art ecology, scene ecology, gene ecology, population ecology, and so on. Suppose in case of the art ecology, it is the branch of ecology that deals with the study of ecology of single species or one species. While in case of the scene ecology, it deals with the study of many species or a community. In case of the gene ecology, we used to discuss about the genetic makeup of a species of population in relation to the environment. While in case of the population ecology, we study the interrelationship of different groups of organisms. Now we have to learn something about the organization. So what is organization? Organization is the pattern in which the small components of any structure, system or individual are arranged in hierarchy to coordinate with one another towards a goal. So here in this case, if we are going to study the ecology, we have to learn a little bit of organizations. So there are two type of or two level of organization, the lower level of organization and the higher level of organization. In case of the lower level of organization, we generally discuss about the atoms, molecules, and that ends to the cell. While in case of the higher level of organization, it starts from the living cell and ends in the biosphere. And specifically in case of the ecology, everything starts from the organisms and then the population, community and ecosystem. We will discuss each and every point over here. So let's start from the organism first. Organisms are the smallest unit of ecological hierarchy. So we have shown you the level of the organizations. So in that level of organization, the organisms are the smallest unit, and the next unit is the species. That means the organisms which are similar to each other and importantly which are interbreeding group of individuals will be considered as the species. Like the human population, whenever I am saying that human population, that means it includes the all the species of human beings, right? So the next level of organization is the population. Population is as usual the assemblage of organisms in a particular area at a given time, that will be considered as a population. So I have told you that human population or the population of frog, that means it includes all the species of the frog, or it could be a single species of frog also. If it is a single species, it will be the monospecific population, and if it includes all the species of a frog, in that case it will be the polyspecific. Now coming to our next level, that is the community. So what is the community? Community is the assemblage of different populations. So assemblage of different populations in a given geographical area of habitat. Now you may ask me that what is habitat? Habitat is a particular place that is generally occupied by a individual organism, right? So a population must have its own habitat and the community has a larger habitat. That is why I am saying that this is a geographical area. It's not a given place or not a particular place. It is a geographical area. Next, coming to our next level, that is the ecosystem. That is the result of the interaction between biotic community and its surrounding abiotic factors. This is called the ecosystem, and this is the open system. Why this is the open system? Because there is a fair exchange of energy and matter. That means there would be a inward movement of energy as well as the matters, as well as there is a outward movement of energy and matters. And the last but not the least, that is the biosphere, that includes all the ecosystems. Different type of ecosystems could be there, like the pond ecosystem, forest ecosystem. So biosphere is the assemblage of all ecosystems. As I have already given you a basic idea of a habitat, so here the habitat is generally said as a place made up of biotic factors where the organisms live. It is basically a large area and commonly shared by different organisms or different populations and shows the great diversities. So these are the basic characteristics of a habitat. Now coming to our next point, that is the niche. Niche is a part of a specific habitat which is used up by any organism for their activity. So habitat is the place where the organisms live, and the niche is a particular place or a part of a specific habitat where the organism shows their activity. Now we will discuss about a level of organization, that is the population. So starting from a population density. Population density is the number of individuals per unit area at a given time. It generally marked by the D, and D equals to N divided by S. Here the N is the number of individuals and S is the specific area or the unit area. Now next point is the natality or the birth rate of a population. The number of individuals born per thousand population in a year will be considered as the birth rate or the natality of a population. If the birth rate is increasing, that means the size of the population will increase. Next one is the mortality, that is the number of individual died per thousand population in a year. It will be considered as the mortality of a population. If there is a high death rate or the high mortality, in that case the population will decline. So here is a formula that defines the sustainability of a population, whether the population will increase or decrease. It depends on this formula. In this formula, the N0 is the number of individuals or the previous population, B equals to the number of individual born at a given time, D equals to the number of individual died in a given time, I equals to the number of immigrant, and E equals to the number of emigrant. Immigrant means those who are coming to a population from a different habitat, and emigrant means those who are going outside from a habitat to another habitat. That means those who are leaving a population. So the sustainability of a population depends on the balance of natality, mortality, immigration and emigration. So on the left side there is a graph. If the graph is something like this, it shows the increasing or the growing rate of a population. In the y-axis, that shows the population size, and the x-axis, that is the time. So if the graph is showing something like this, that means it reflects the increment of a population. While on the other hand, if the graph shows according to the dotted line, that means the population is declining or decreasing. Now suppose a population is growing or increasing its size, then how it will? They have two different options. The first one, in this case it is showing a graph, and this type of growth will be considered as a S phase or S type growth. Well, the graph looks something like a S. So at a given time, the y-axis is reflects the population size and the x-axis reflects the time. So the population will shows the lag phase, then the exponential growth phase, and then the stationary. Why stationary? Because if there is a scarcity of food, available food, in that case the population cannot maintain its exponential growth. That means it cannot shows that kind of natality or the increased rate of birth. That is why it shows the stationary phase. While on the other hand, if a population is increasing its size in a intense way, it will show the J-shaped population, where there is the lag phase and the exponential phase, but there is no stationary phase. Now we have to discuss about the distribution of a population. That means how the individual of a population is going to be distributed at a given habitat at a given time. It could be of basically three types: uniform, random and clumped. Just consider ourselves. In this current situation of the corona outbreak, we used to make a social distance, right? And the considered distance is near about 3 to 4 feet. And this is, or this type of distribution is known as the uniform distribution. That means each and every individuals are placed at a given habitat with a uniform distance from each other, right? Such type of population will be considered as the uniform population or the uniform distribution. The second one is the random. That means the individuals are randomly placed in a habitat. While on the third one, that is the clumped, in this case the individuals are clumped in a particular area just only because of the availability of the food. Now coming to our next topic, that is the ecosystem. As I have already told you that the ecosystem is the interaction between the biotic community with the abiotic factors. So what they are, in case of the biotic community, it shows different type of components. What they are, the starting from the producer, then the consumer, and the third one is the decomposer. Producer, that means those who are producing the energy as well as the food for the whole ecosystem. The consumers are those who are getting that energy from the producer, and the decomposer, that means they will decompose everything and return each and every element to the ecosystem as it was previously. So the consumer could be of three types: the primary consumer, those are the herbivores; the secondary consumer, and the tertiary consumer. There could be another type of consumer that is known as the quaternary consumer. While on the other hand, in case of the abiotic components such as organic substances like protein, lipid, fat, carbohydrates, organic substances of a abiotic component, while the inorganic substances are like carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygens, and the climatic factors like the light, air, water, whatever is there available for the sustainability of a ecosystem will be considered as a climatic factors. Now coming to our next point, that is the trophic level. Trophic level is a such type of situation where different organisms in an ecosystem having similar mode of nutrition will be considered as trophic levels. Like in the previous slide, we have told you that there are different type of consumers: primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. They will be placed in different trophic level. So here this is a pyramid, and this type of pyramid shows the food chain as well as the food pyramids. At the base of this pyramid there is the green plants, which are generally considered as the producer, and the next level or the next trophic level is the insects, which are the primary consumer. Then the frog, secondary consumer; snake is the tertiary consumer; and the hawk or eagle or any kind of bird will be considered as the quaternary consumer. And the energy flows from the base to the top of the pyramid. So what is food chain? Food chain is the sequence of organisms in which the energy flows in the form of food from the organisms to another organisms through a series of repeated eating and being eaten. Such type of conditions will be considered as the food chain, like starting from the green plant to the hawk, it will be considered as the food chain. It is a series or the particular arrangement of different organisms. So this is the basic thing about ecology and the ecosystem. Hopefully you have enjoyed the whole video. If you do so, in that case let me know, and if you have any kind of doubt, in that case also inform me so that I can clear them up. Thank you. Have a nice day.